So we're going to open the images on the editing folder on the desktop, select and drag to the Photoshop icon down below. Once these images is open, you should have a picture of a manuscript and a portrait. Once these images are loaded in Photoshop, we're going to go to the crop tool and resize the image. We're going to change the image to a landscape. We're going to go from just the side of the guitar to the bottom is going to be the first fret, and the top is just a little bit above the head. Make sure there's plenty of clear space on the left side of the image. We're going to zoom in and make sure we have not affected the quality of the image in this cropping. Next, we're going to go to the burn tool and just darken the background. Now we're going to go to the dodge tool and lighten the head and the guitar. We're going to go to the MCP already loaded actions, the Quickie collection, Quickie breakfast, and use the MCP snap to add colour and sharpness to the image. Next, we're going to use the MCP eye doctor. The MCP eye doctor has 5 different effects: sharpen as attack, darken the pupil, brighten the whites, brighten the iris, and enhance the catch. We're going to be brushing over the eye in the correct parts, making sure that we are on the brush tool, as this will not work unless we are. So just whatever opacity your brush is already on is fine, unless you want to fix it. We will be able to adjust the opacity once we have applied all effects. So as we can see, the image of the eye is quite overdone. Now we're going to go through and fix the opacity to what you deem is a nice looking eye. Whether it is adjusting the opacity up or down, just making it look real and making it pop. Now we've done that, we're going to flatten the image, go to history, and we're going to take a snapshot just to make sure that we don't lose what we have done. We can also see the progress of what we have done with these snapshots. Now we're going to go down to the MCP Magic Skin, and we're going to use Powder Your Nose. I'm going to click on the action and press play. The message will come up and you click stop and press play once again. And when this message comes up, we're going to press stop, and we're going to go in and with whatever opacity you think is right. Once you can change it once you have put on the face, so just whatever. This is going to fix blemishes and smooth out the skin. Don't overdo it. You don't want your model to look like a doll. Just to fix little blemishes, even out the skin tone. Once you've done that, close the action, and we're going to flatten the image. History, snapshot. Now we're going to go to the picture of the manuscript. We're going to rotate, so image rotation. Once you have the image on the right side facing up, we're going to crop it to get rid of any unwanted little spaces. Since we've cropped it to the right size, it's a bit discoloured, so we're going to go over it with the dodge tool. Once we've done that, we're going to select, go back to the mouse tool and drag it in to the image of the portrait. Once you have it placed where you want, click, Command T to transform. We're just going to drag it out to the whole image and click the tick or enter when you have it to the right size. Once we've done that, we're going to go to the eraser tool, and as you can see that the image of the portrait is still underneath. So we're going to lower the opacity right down, and we're just going to go over where we think the head is, because we don't want any manuscript on top of this. So just very lightly lower the opacity even more to go around the edges. Very time consuming. You could up the opacity of the brush, but then you don't get the nice feathering effect of around the head and the guitar. Making sure the manuscript is off the skin and guitar. It is very time consuming, but this will get the best look. Making sure it's nice and even on the edges. So once you think you've done, zoom in on certain areas just to make sure that you have gotten every surface. As you can see, once we zoomed in, we can see more lines on the face, making sure to get all those off. As you can see, there is a little bit of a clear space at the top, so we're just going to go Command T, transform, make it wider and zoom out just to make sure that we have not adjusted the image too much. So once we're happy with that, we're going to flatten the image and take another snapshot. So next we're up to the last step. We're going to use the dark black and white. So press skip. So just play around with the opacity, just to adjust it to your taste, like it suggests. I feel as though it's a bit too dark, so we're going to go to the dodge tool and lighten up the face and the background a little bit. We're going to go through and just take a look at our progress. I have now noticed that the head I have made a little bit too white, like too much light on it, so I'm going to go through and with the burn tool and just above the head, just even out the skin. Once that is out, we're going to take a snapshot and look at the progress then. Now we're going to go File and Save the image.